Hey guys, it's TFNut. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another action figure review. This time it's going to be of the brand new Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H. Figuarts Sasuke Uchiha Ninja Prodigy of the Uchiha clan Bloodline. It's a lot to say. This is from the original Naruto series back in the early 2000s. A lot of us know about this and the young Naruto that came out last month by now. Very excited to get this one. I wasn't super happy with my kid Naruto after the review, at least last month. It's a very decent figure, but the quality is not great. We do have Maiden Vietnam on the box here, so we're gonna wait and see how this turns out. But I've been very excited about this figure, as well as a lot of other people have been as well. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging right here. Very standard with this line. Bandai Namco on the top right. Figure in the box, SH Figuarts there. See all the accessories as well. And the image of Sasuke on the right with a little bit of like the outlines are like brush strokes almost. You do also see where it says Sasuke Uchiha and all that. I'm not even going to try to say all that again. Again, I forget if the studio's name is Puro, but there's the sticker down there, as well as the Naruto, Tamashii Nations, and Bandai logos, as well as the Tamashii Nations quality sticker, even though it's really small and kind of hard to see at this point in the review. On the side here, just a wide shot of what this box looks like here. This is going to say Sasuke and all that stuff that was on the front with the bloodline and all that. Here's an image of what his face looks like in a close-up image right there. Very nice, like, light blue box patterns going on here. Also, SH Figuarts Sasuke Uchiha and a full-body image of Sasuke right there. On the top, there really isn't going to be much here. It's just a read-up of what the SH Figuarts line is. If you want to pause and read that right there. And then this is what the bottom looks like. You see an image of Sasuke holding a kunai and his name as well. Now we look on the back of the packaging. A bunch of different poses that we saw already in the promotional images. Even with the funny face with Naruto there as well. Very cool. And then the support websites there, as well as ages 15 and up. And the barcode in case you need it. Let's go ahead and get this figure out of the packaging. Here's Sasuke out of the packaging. I got to mess around with this a little bit on Instagram Live. I'll leave a link down in the description below for my Instagram in case you want to see that. But this is actually a pretty awesome figure. I think I like this a little bit more than a Naruto. Again, I had some problems with Naruto that I don't think I'm actually having here. At least not yet. This figure's not perfect. There's some things about it with my particular figure. It has some slight quality control issues, unfortunately. Let's take a look at the accessories first, then we'll take a closer look at the figure. So we do have an instruction manual I want to show off before the other accessories. Some figures have been coming with their instruction manuals, and some are only getting digital ones on the side of the box. So this one here, you know, I'm good either way. This is pretty cool, though. It shows the different accessories, how to use some of the accessories. And then that's what the back of the manual looks like with some of the other effects and accessories there. So what we're going to start with first, I can't find the gripping hands right now. We're going to start with those. We're going to start with these posed hands. These are for the Fuma Shuriken. The really big shuriken. This is like my favorite accessory out of this whole thing, I'll tell you right now. All hands are done in a very similar skin tone where there's a bit of paint on there, I feel like. I think it's mostly molded in these colors. I could be wrong on the paint completely, and maybe there's none on here. These hands do look a little glossy, but these are actually really nicely posed hands here. They can work for different types of posing hands as well. And you can also see the fingernails on there looking really nice. Okay, so here are the gripping hands. These are meant for holding, you know, they're a perfect circle grip here. That is meant for holding the kunai. And I believe this kunai that we'll get, I'll show off in a second, is the exact same that came with last month's Naruto. So now you get 2 kunai if you wanted to. That is cool. These jutsu hands, I don't know where it is. This hand, okay, this right hand, there is a scratch. It's kind of hard to see. My lighting is not great right now. But if you look there, the back of the hand, that is a scratch. That's not a paint defect. That is some type of like black scratch in the plastic. I don't love that. Everything else about this, there's nice wrinkles in the fingers. All that, okay, so that, I don't love that little seam line in there where they have to fuse all that together basically. But the rest of this does look good with the fingers wrapped around the other hand there. And then we get to these clenched hands. These are just meant for different action posing hands. Not much to talk about there. They're really nice. These more flatter hands, I guess they could be relaxed hands, but these are kind of like come at me hands. And you do see some detailing on the inside of the palms too. The light is not really helping how it's looking right now. But pretty nice. Last time, at least for hands, we only get one of these Fireball Jutsu hands done this particular way. Maybe the other one would have been nice, but I think you only really did it on the right hand, so that's fine, and that looks really nice. For faceplates, they're all molded in a very similar way, and the paint on all of these faceplates is very good. You see the eyebrows on the smirking face here, and the actual sculpt for the smirk. But the paint in there is really nice. I think there was a black speck just a second ago. The black in the eyes also, all that looks really good, and then you have some nice sculpting in the ears too. Cool that we have a smirk for him. We also have the Fireball Jutsu face here for when he's doing that attack there, and then you see a little bit of paint in the mouth there. Again, the eyes come through actually. The paint on there is really good. And then we have the Sharingan hands. These are a face, I should say. Hands, oh my god. This looks really great. Really digging the printing of the Sharingan in the eyes there. And then you have some really nice separation of colors in the mouth, like with a lot of other SH Figuarts with open mouths. And then you have the comedic angry face, which is going to pair really great with Naruto's. Really digging that with the wide eyes there. If we get a Sakura, a younger Sakura, hopefully she'll come with one as well. Now for the weapons, this kunai here, I do believe, again, this is the one that came with last month's Naruto. We have mostly this black molded, I think a little bit of paint in your plastic. A little bit of this lighter brown on the handle or the grip of the shuriken. That is a kunai. I don't know why I'm getting these mixed up. I do apologize. But, yeah, that paint's kind of bleeding onto there. And then you pop that off, and you pop that back on. And you can put that through the hand that way. All right. Finally, jumbled words and all, I'm getting to my favorite accessory, which is the Fuma Shuriken. That's why I was saying that. This is a really fantastic accessory that I'm really glad that they included with the nice silver on the blade pieces and the black. All that comes through really nice. You do have these hands. I mean, for holding that, they're a little bit funky to fit these in there, but you can make it happen. And then we do have this Chidori effect. And I believe people, online, I think Ace said it too in his review. This is more of a, less, pretty spurted out Chidori, since, he's not as experienced with Chidori at this point, which is an interesting thing to point out there. And I don't know if this works with, what's his name, Kakashi yet, but this is really nice. The one thing I do want to mention while I have you guys, well, might as well take this. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but this really is not fitting in there. It's like a really loose grip almost. And once you do get it in there, I don't really know when I'm going to be able to get this in there. There are times when I was messing around this and I did get it in there and it would just keep falling out. So this is a really, at least for mine, a loose fit, or I'm doing something wrong. So just keep that in mind. Last but not least, we do have the Fireball Jutsu, and it does come with these clear translucent parts. For a stand here, just plug that piece in there, and then this ball joint in here is actually pretty easy to pop that in. Just be careful, you could probably break this. The sculpting on here is really great, and I do like the orangish, yellowish, and like reddish paint going on to this translucent plastic here. And this will work for the Gabimaru figure too, since he has a fire jutsu style attack as well, and he doesn't come with any effects pieces. I already showed a body shot 360 of Sasuke earlier, but I do have an image of full body young Sasuke here from the anime. Some people were saying that the proportions just aren't right with this figure, and I think it's mostly the head sitting a little too high, and the head should be a little bit more round. But everything else about this, I do think it's a rather tall figure. I'll bring out Naruto towards the end of the review, and you can skip to the chapter function if you want to check out that size comparison. But I do think this is a little too tall, and there's some points where it looks a little bit off, in like when you look right like at him, like face forward. Side profiles though, like man, look at that hair. That is undeniably Sasuke. The hidden leaf band village band, excuse me. That insignia is sculpted on there very nicely with the silver paint going on. That's fantastic. Let's get a little closer, and you can see, it's not much paint variation at all in the hair, but we do have lots of nice like lines and spikes going on in the hair. This little tie piece does not rotate like some of the other figures, unfortunately. I don't believe, even though it looks like it, I don't believe this front piece comes off at all. So you'll have to pop the head off, and then you'll have to pop the face off, which could be a little bit tricky. And, the idea is that just this is supposed to pop off. And you see that is, that comes off. But then you can end up pulling the whole neck piece off too, and then this piece also comes out. But you could pop that in just as easily. So, you know, you do have your options for taking accessories apart if you need to. I don't really know why that neck pops off that easily though. But the actual collar actually fits with the rest of the outfit really well. It blends all in like really well together. Like you can't really tell in some angles until I do that. Anyway, what I was trying to say before I interrupted myself is that all this blends in together, but you can see that actually that is a separate piece there. The rest of this shirt is fantastic looking. It's got a really nice, like in the light, it's a little glossy, but it's mostly like a matte almost type blue here. This dark blue here, all that looks great. The wrinkles in here are very cool too. You do see actually some sculpted cuts going on in there in case you need to get a little bit of extra articulation. We'll get to that in a second because the articulation on the torso is not great. But we also have the Uchiha clan symbol with really nice red and white, as well as you can see separation of sculpting going on in the back there. These almost like bracers. The one thing about this figure is that the gray, I don't really love how it all looks. Some parts I think it looks fine. You know, it should look a little bit, I guess the word is plain, but then it looks a little too plain to me down here and then also in the bracers. But the actual sculpting with the wrinkles going on in there look really good. So the skin tone for the most part matches, but you could definitely tell in person this piece here is painted in the skin tone, and then this is all molded, and that really doesn't fit together, unfortunately. I'm looking at the neck just to make sure, and I think it's a little bit light in the neck, but it actually blends together with the face pretty well. But again, you see that like elbow flat piece that covers the metal joint for the elbow. Yeah, it's not great. But the blue and the buckles on the bracers look really good, and these are what the fists look like. That looks good. Skin tone matches pretty well with the actual molded skin tones. Looking at it, this and this really don't fit. Then we do have, again, the shirt, the bottom of the shirt here. I think I already mentioned that. One thing I want to mention is when you're, moving this around, is if you push this way too forward, there are going to be some, it's kind of hard to see, but in the light, you start seeing some creasing. Basically, this plastic digging into the soft plastic shirt piece. So that's going to be unfortunate over time. It might just ruin that shirt. And I really don't love this whole system. Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the pants are done really well. It's on the 3.0 hip system. So you don't have any of that extra stuff like with some of the Spider-Man figures lately and some Gokus before we get 3.0 Goku. But all that looks good. The other Naruto figures are done in this similar articulation system. Wrinkles around the hips looking really nice. On camera, this gray piece and then this and the hips don't really match all that much. I don't think it's too bad in person. The pouch here looking pretty good. We do have a bit of a button there. This is very similar to Naruto's pouch. These are really floppy. I appreciate that they can be floppy in case you need to move these around for more dynamic posing, but they're a little too floppy in some areas, especially this right thigh with the pouch right there, and then you do have those wraps. That all that is actually really separated nicely in terms of paint. I don't see any splotching with the black going into the, the bandages there. I guess would be bandages, but really the wraps. Looks like to me, actually, I can also tell that this is painted in a skin tone and then this is molded, but in person it's actually hidden pretty well. But on camera, I can definitely tell a difference. Now, I think a little bit of blue is bleeding onto the skin tone, or maybe vice versa. But that should blend in pretty well. Really no issues there. That's what the back of the knees are a little bit... No, we get that articulation, so I appreciate it. But yeah, it's a little ugly. Anyway, again, the shin guards, a little plain, but the actual way that looks like wraps, all that looks pretty good. You have a little bit of blue in there. And then we get down to the boots, which are similar to how they did it with, a lot of these figures so far, including the newest Naruto and Kakashi. All that looks really fantastic. The light blue looks great. Lots of wrinkles going on there. This is what the bottom of the feet look like. Really great detailing on there. And then you get to the toes. It's similar with some of the other figures that have the toe articulation with the exposed toe. You do bend it down and you will get that blue in there, unfortunately. But if you bend it like that, you get a little bit of skin tone there, but that's really not that big of a deal to me. Overall, I think the arms actually might be a little bit too long, but I really don't think, besides whatever's going on with the head and neck, that the proportions are all that bad here. Very good articulation, like always, with this line. We do have lots of different dumbbell joints and ball joints going on. That's going to result in side-to-side motion like this. If I can, move it to focus, that's really good. The up, that's as far as it wants to go. That's really good. Every time I move it forward, it really likes to like pop out and starting to piss me off a little bit. That's as far forward as you want to go before it starts to undo itself. And the rotations, there's really not much of a problem going on there. We have the system here where it likes to drop down a little bit at the ball jointed shoulders going into the air, for the butterfly joint, and you can get a little bit of an exposed joint, but that moves really well. Moves the arm all the way out like that. Just all the way around. A fantastic motion going on here. Just be careful when you're moving, like I was doing all these pieces here with these extra plastic pieces, and then you do pop out. Where even can I put that back in? Okay, so you plug it in actually right here, and then you should be able to get going. Yikes. All right, upper arm swivel. I think you can also rotate it here, and it's actually a little bit of back and forth like a ball joint, kind of like Kakashi. I think the first Sasuke from last year actually had that. Double jointed elbows there, and then we do have the standard wrist articulation style there. Ball joint at the waist, it really does not want to move back at all. You really have to move this separate part towards the actual waist, and all that, like the abs, they really don't want to move at all. Same thing going forward. You're getting most of the articulation through here, and that is really disappointing. The side to side could be a little bit better, but the rotation is pretty good at both joints. Legs go forward there, back a little bit, and then they do split almost perfectly. But there's like, again, kind of like with the arms, the legs here have a bit of a ball joint going on. Hopefully you don't have the screw like the Naruto. It swivels there, as you see, and then this separate piece here. All that different range of motion, that's insane. Double jointed knees there, and then we have ball joints going on here, like with some of the other Naruto figures. The way they do this is really great. You can swivel that too, and then a little bit up and down. You do actually have a separate pivot down and then up, which is really good. Ankle rockers, all that's fantastic. Toe hinge. Quick measurements before we do size comparisons. This figure is pretty close to 14.5 centimeters. That's going to put it close to 5 3/4 inches. The new Sasuke is going to be a little bit taller than last month's young Naruto, but I think they're pretty close to scale with each other, unlike the Shippuden versions where I think Sasuke is way too short. As you can see, I don't think the last year's Sasuke, I should say, should, that should tower a little bit more over the younger Sasuke. That size comparison is not very good to me. But you can see they're all pretty short compared to an adult figure like Kakashi. Overall, I'm really digging this figure a lot. Really, my only issues are that the head and neck are a little bit disproportionate. Some of the skin tone is a little bit off in some areas, mostly the arms and knees. And my biggest complaint is that the ab section, where the plastic meets that softer shirt piece, the articulation at the abs are really bad. It actually bugs me a lot how bad they are. So you really have to rely on the hips and waist to get some better articulation out of that. Maybe the arms are a little bit too long too. I don't know. Other than that, I really don't have any other complaints. This is a really fantastic figure, and I do think I like this a little bit more than last month's Kid Naruto. The rest of the articulation scheme here is really great. The other engineering going on here, really, really awesome. The paint and sculpt work is really fantastic, and I love all of those accessories, especially the Fumashuriken. That is fantastic. It's really cool to get another kunai as well, and the different effects pieces like the Fireball Jutsu and the Chidori effect came out really nicely, even though the Chidori effect really does not want to stay on my figure's wrist peg at all. But the other hands and faces are really sick. I'm really digging this figure a lot, and I do see why people were really hyped for it. I think it just has a little bit of some imperfections, but not as much as my particular, at least my unique Naruto, I should say. That one, man, that was rough. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figure, what you think about the review. Leave a like, share amongst your friends. Follow me on Instagram for more content over there, and I'll see you guys later.